Samuel, why did you do this to me? Oh, I might be the worst person for this question. I am so out of the loop. I'm so much older than all of you. Anyway, Sam, I love you. And so, I'm going to give it my best. And the rest of you out there, the rest of you will just have to have a little mercy as I try to answer the question of the week. The question this week is, how has TSG impacted the trans community as well as myself? You know, to answer that question, I was thinking about it. In some ways, you have to define what the trans community is, and that's an awfully tall order. I'll give it a quick shot. And I think the real problem for me with defining it is that it's an abstraction. It's a generalization, it's virtual. It exists at conferences and community events and support groups. The conventions end, the community events wind down, and support groups have their last go around. And we all go our separate ways and disappear into the crowd. For us to form a community in that type of space, where we don't have shared proximity to each other, the only thing we can share at such distances is our stories. And in telling our stories, we learn what we have in common. And ultimately, what we have in common is what defines a community. A community is, by definition, what we share together. And we can't know what we share unless we know each other's stories. And that's where the problem lies, I think, in part. We come to the trans community wearing a mask. Often one that we brought with us inherited. Perhaps one that we stitched together ourselves out of scraps. And perhaps the mask looks just like our face. It's still a mask. And very often, we borrow a mask from the shelf of a proof mess within the transgender community. And behind each one of those masks is a story. Behind each one of those stories is a face afraid to tell. And so what TSG has done, what you do, is you provide a space where at least for some amount of time, the mask can come off and the stories can be told, and we can explore our common humanity. And we can celebrate our differences by listening to each other. That's what you brought. You brought the ability to show your face. And you show the diversity and wonderment and beauty of those faces. In terms of how it's impacted me, that's a different thing. Well, your stories, certainly your stories. Of course your stories have enriched my life. But there's another way. Almost everybody on TSG through most of its time has been much younger than me. So in some ways I look upon you in the same way that I look upon, when I think about how you've affected me, I think about it in terms of how all younger trans people have affected me. And in that sense, it's been very powerful because I come from a time of tremendous fear and hiddenness and low visibility. And I look upon you with such wonderment at your openness to newness, your willingness to explore, to express yourselves, and to start to challenge all the definitions, to look at things afresh and to live life with some risk and some passion. You know, the relationship of the generations often, you would think of it as that the older people are blazing the trail and forging the way for the younger to come. But that's not the case here. It's not the case. Here, it's you leading the way. And it's us older people following. You have taught us older people that we can be young too. And by being young, it means we can be open to life, open to newness, open to inventiveness, playfulness. It's been a wonderful thing. And 100 weeks, that is an amazing milestone. You should be very proud. Very proud of yourself, as I am proud of all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me on, and have a wonderful week, wonderful weekend. And keep telling our stories. I'll be listening.